Welcome, everyone. I would like to start by acknowledging the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Coquitlam peoples on whose traditional territories we are so privileged to be gathered this beautiful afternoon. I would like to invite Mr. Jason Spence, an undergraduate student in the Faculty of Science and a member of the SFU choir, who will lead us all in singing O Canada. Jason.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, thy true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. I declare the Convocation Spring 2019 assembled for the granting of degrees. Mr. President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty, honored guests, graduands, and friends, I am Anne Giardini, the Chancellor of this university, and we are delighted and honored to have you join us for Convocation. In attendance today are a number of distinguished guests in the audience and on the platform, including members of Senate, vice presidents, deans, and members of faculty. I would like to also acknowledge Mr. Ron Su, Honorary Consul of the Republic of Bulgaria, Dr. James Pau, SFU Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, and Joe Schwartz, who will be conferred an Honorary Doctorate of Science this afternoon, and of course, our SFU alumni legacy parents and families. Welcome to all of you. And thanks to all of you who are here for patience with the construction on campus. We have several exciting projects underway, as you can probably see. Behind the platform is the SFU Student Society's new Student Union building. The building will be completed by the end of the year, and it will be devoted to students, with lounges, study areas, meeting rooms, and recreational facilities. And throughout the main corridor on campus, east to west, is the Public Plaza Renewal Project, which will improve accessibility and create more gathering spaces as this university renews some of our infrastructure. It is a delight to see you all here to participate in or bear witness to this Simon Fraser University's most important ceremony. This is the moment, this is the time, this is the hour. We gather together as a collective of students and supporters to celebrate achievement, recognize success, and confer well-earned honors. This is your day, graduands, and I, along with many others, could not be prouder. There are many reasons to tackle and complete a university degree, a diploma, or certificate. Charles Darwin said it well in an 1878 letter to his sisters written from the ship the Beagle. It appears to me, he wrote, that doing what little one can do to increase the general stock of knowledge is as respectable an object of life as one can in any likelihood pursue. Your university education provides you with a well-stocked mind, but your education does far more than that. It makes us all wiser, since you can do society the service in all you do of distinguishing fact from falsehood, truth from duplicity. You can do this in conversation and in what you post on social media. You can do this in the work you choose to do, in how you live your daily life, and in how you vote at the ballot box. There may or may not be a war on truth, but it is certainly under siege. Not long ago, there was a march for science in cities around the globe. People committed to truth and logic were marching. They held up signs like, "Keep calm and think critically," and "It's so severe, the nerds are here." And I could be in the lab right now. But my favorite was the call and response. What do we want? Science. When do we want it? After peer review. But good science is not enough. For decades, supporters of science have tried to convey what is special about science by focusing on the past successes of scientific achievement: the wheel, astronomy, medicine, flight. But it turns out that if we really want to convey why science is important, we need to focus too on those fields that are not and may never become sciences, including many of the arts and communication, among others. This spring, SFU hosted a community summit called Confronting the Disinformation Age. Since then, a range of disinformation resources has been posted on SFU's Public Square website, and I commend it to you. You can have a look and be able to distinguish pretty quickly between subjects such as post-truth, disinformation, misinformation, clickbait, confirmation bias, filter bubbles, and many more. As you contemplate your future, I offer two challenges. First, put your education to use in a world of misinformation. Speak up. Instead of running away from challenging topics and those who seek to mislead, see these as proof that you are needed. You'll know you're close to an uncomfortable area when you start to receive flack. These are wonderful opportunities to make a difference. And second, serve. Rather than complaining about those who make decisions for society, consider being one of them yourself. You are now, by definition, someone with ideas and talent. Make it your aim to learn how government works at all levels and to find an opportunity to help your community. It's not that you owe it to the world, but that the world really does need you. Because you are about to become SFU grads, I have every confidence that you will flourish in the days ahead. You will find time to consider how this world might be changed for the better. You may well do something yourself, large or small, that will help to bring about much-needed change. I hope you spend your time both profligately and wisely, and spend many hours in that productive, satisfying state of imagination that engenders the very best that you are capable of. I guess I have a third request, and that is that you stay in touch with us here at SFU. We are proud of you. We are grateful for our time with you, and we are improved by this time that we have spent together. Thank you. I now call upon the president of our university, Professor Andrew Petter.
Madam Chancellor, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty members, staff, and most especially, graduands, family, and friends. It is my privilege to preside at this culminating celebration of your education at Simon Fraser University. As this ceremony unfolds, our message to you is clear. As each of you receives your degree, I and the entire university community want you to know how proud we are of you. We've seen your work, we've admired your performance. Your degrees are not merely documents of accreditation, they're a living testament to the faith we have in your ability to flourish in a dynamic world. They are also a reflection of the institution you chose, one whose vision it is to be Canada's engaged university. That focus on engagement has provided you an enriched and relevant educational environment, one that has not only equipped you with disciplinary knowledge, research capacities, and critical thinking abilities, but has also enabled you to gain workplace experience, community insight, and global awareness. These are the aptitudes required to climb your first mountain. Now, I'm not talking here about Burnaby Mountain, another peak you've learned to scale as part of your SFU education. I'm referring to the first mountain as described by New York Times columnist David Brooks. Brooks is the author of a new book entitled The Second Mountain, The Quest for a Moral Life. Having established himself as a celebrated writer and popular media commentator, Brooks reached the first pinnacle of the first mountain, which he describes as the place you go to pursue material gain, to seek public recognition, and if all goes well, to find happiness. But SFU's vision, and my ambition for you, is directed to much more than the individual success that's associated with accumulating wealth, gaining social standing, or pursuing a profitable career. My hope, and that of this university, is that your SFU education will also prepare you to scale what David Brooks calls the second mountain, the place where you go to contribute to the well-being of others. In Brooks' words, the second mountain is where you are driven by the desires of your heart and soul, not by the demands of your ego. Success on the second mountain is about collective welfare rather than individual advantage. In a variation on the theme of engagement, Brooks says that this second quest is about interdependence rather than independence. It involves attending to the needs both of individuals and of the community. And here's the wonderful thing. The second mountain is where you attain what Brooks calls joy, a state more rewarding and resilient than happiness. I recently heard Brooks interviewed about the book and about his own personal journey, and I was immediately drawn to his vision of a second mountain because it resonates so strongly with my own experience and with what this university is all about. A belief that the true measure of our success as humans is not how much better we make life for ourselves, but how much better we make it for others. Like Brooks, I recommend to you the rewards that come from building a better world. They far exceed those that accompany personal ambition and self-aggrandizement. Individual accomplishments can be gratifying, but the sense of efficacy and attainment to be gained from helping others and enriching communities delivers much greater satisfaction and fulfillment. So here, today, I hope you revel in your attainments to date. As you stand on this mountain, you have every right to bask in the happiness you have earned. Bravo for having made it far up your first mountain. It's a critical foundation for what lies ahead. But when the excitement of today's festivities begins to wane, I commend to you that second climb. There's joy aplenty to be found there in a world that is in need of your commitment, your energy, and your leadership. And whatever mountains confront you, you can take comfort in the knowledge that you needn't make that climb alone. The relationships you've formed here with friends and colleagues, with faculty and mentors, will serve you better than any single lesson. Today, you take your place amongst a global network of over 160,000 SFU alumni in more than 140 countries around the world, supported by an association that is there to assist and connect you. And while this phase of your education is complete, the continued success in this ever-changing and challenging world will depend upon your commitment to lifelong learning. In that regard, SFU will always be here when you need help. For now, this is your time. Enjoy it and use it wisely. Share it generously with those you love and just as generously with those who don't have your advantages, knowing that it is on the second mountain that you will make your greatest contributions and find your greatest joy. Congratulations to you all.
SFU's honorary degree is the highest honor conferred by the university. Honorary degrees are awarded to distinguished individuals in recognition of their scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or in recognition of exceptional contribution to the public good through professional or philanthropic activity. Honorary degree recipients' achievements celebrate our university's values and serve as an inspiration and a role model to our students, graduates, and communities. The honorary degree will now be conferred. To present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. Joe Schwartz, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Claire CUPPLES. Dr. CUPPLES is a professor in the Department of Molecular Biology and Biochemistry and the former dean of the Faculty of Science here at Simon Fraser University. Dr. CUPPLES.
Madam Chancellor, I am honored to present Dr. Joe Schwartz, a chemist and master communicator who's made it his mission to separate sense from nonsense and advance the understanding and impact of science in our world. As a professor of chemistry and founding director of the Office for Science and Society at McGill University, Dr. Schwartz, or Dr. Joe, as he's more familiarly known, is a voice of reason and clarity in an era when science is challenged by skeptics who spread misinformation digitally. He's the author of 16 books dedicated to explaining science to the lay public, with an eye to separating reality from quackery, and is a frequent contributor to mainstream media outlets such as the Discovery Channel, CBC, CTV, Global TV, and the Montreal Gazette. Dr. Schwartz is also an amateur magician and often spices up his presentations with some magic. Though he regularly fields science questions from the general public during the Dr. Joe show on the radio, his clear thinking is also highly valued by the academic community. He addresses issues relevant to professional peers in his highly respected monthly column in Canadian Chemical News, and his work is constantly used here in SFU's own chemistry department as an example to students on how to distinguish science from pseudoscience. Dr. Schwartz's distinguished service as a media commentator was recently recognized by McGill University with the Principal's Prize for Public Engagement through Media, just one of the many honors he holds for his efforts to explain and defend the importance of science. He has received honorary degrees from 3 Canadian universities and is the only non-American ever to win the American Chemical Society's prestigious Grady Stack Award for demystifying chemistry. In 2010, he received the Canadian Chemical Institute's Montreal Medal, recognizing lifetime contributions to chemistry in Canada. And in 2015, he was named winner of the Ballas Prize in Critical Thinking by the US-based Committee for Skeptical Inquiry. SFU is proud to recognize Dr. Schwartz's passionate commitment to critical thinking and his tireless efforts to advance scientific understanding among diverse audiences. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of this university, I ask that you now confer upon Joe Schwartz the degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Joe Schwartz, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I do hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Dr. Joe Schwartz will be hooded by Dr. Wade Parkhouse, Vice Provost and Associate Vice President, Academic, and Ms. Romana Khan Hamani, Vice Provost, Students and International Pro Tem and Registrar.
It is with great pleasure that I now call on Dr. Joe Schwartz for his convocation address. Dr. Schwartz.
Thank you. Chancellor Giardini, President Potter, faculty members, honored guests, and of course, students. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. Many of you students, of course, everyone else will recognize that as words penned by Charles Dickens in 1859 in his classic work, A Tale of Two Cities. But you know what? They could well describe our current times. We're indeed living in an age of wisdom and an age of foolishness, as is readily apparent if you just care to surf the internet. We have instant access to the wisdom of the world's best scientists, but we're also flooded with foolishness of flat earthers, anti-vaccine zealots, and promoters of bogus cancer remedies. It is more important than ever to be able to analyze information and be able to separate sense from nonsense. And that's where learning comes in. Information has to be analyzed in the light of what is already known. But learning has to be coupled with critical thinking. Then we have education. Confucius said it very well. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. I can give you a little personal example of such peril. Back in 1980, a couple of colleagues and I were asked to organize a scientific display at the UNESCO Pavilion at Montreal's Man and His World exhibition, which was a descendant of Expo 67. One of our demos involved making foamed polyurethane, a popular insulating material. And that would trigger a cascade of events that forged my career as a science communicator. One day, an article appeared in the Montreal Gazette about our efforts at the UNESCO Pavilion, concluding that while so many people were worried about urea formaldehyde foam insulation, some chemistry profs were singing its praises. The reporter obviously didn't realize that there were different kinds of foam insulation. When this was brought to his attention, much to his credit, he acknowledged that the real problem was his lack of learning, having skipped too many chemistry classes in high school. He printed a thoughtful retraction, which precipitated a call to me from a local radio station asking if I would like to comment on this controversy. I did, and soon I had a regular slot answering callers' questions about science. I quickly learned about the pitfalls of communication. One day, I was describing the use of an extract of the cochineal insects, smaller than a cockroach, to color strawberry and cherry ice cream. Within days, I received a letter from a listener who wanted me to confirm in writing that there are indeed cockroaches in chocolate ice cream. Obviously, what we had here was a failure to communicate. I suspect that lack of education played a role. A far bigger concern, though, is the role of inadequate education in interpreting the reams of information spewed out over the web. The University of Google is well stocked with information, but its students are left to flounder when it comes to determining whether that information is reliable. Accounts of miraculous cures, the rants of anti-biotechnology activists, the exploits of psychics who pretend to bend spoons with the power of the mind. One would think that if they had this power, it could be put to better use than tormenting cutlery. And there are the claims of a plethora of dietary supplements to prevent disease. It may sound seductive, but these lose their luster in the light of scientific education. It would be incorrect to suggest that education is a vaccine against folly. The annals of history are replete with examples of educated people who have succumbed to nonsense. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a physician by training, believed in fairies and in communication with the dead. Curiously, he was the creator of Sherlock Holmes, who was a logician extraordinaire and eschewed such silliness. Indeed, it was Holmes who told us that it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. Anyone venturing into the realm of science would do well to keep that in mind. These days, those of us who put evidence-based science on a pedestal often get criticized by promoters of alternative views who maintain that science can't explain everything and portray themselves as latter-day Galileos. They laughed at Galileo, they say, and at Columbus and at the Wright brothers. But the fact that some geniuses were laughed at does not imply that all who are laughed at are geniuses. As Carl Sagan pointed out, they also laughed at Bozo the clown. Our best bet to differentiate the bozos from the Galileos is education. Let me illustrate. A group of friends in Quebec wanted to take a trip to a foreign country, so they piled into a bus, headed to Ontario. After crossing the border, one of them, who had failed to graduate from high school upon spying a black sheep, remarked, "Look, all of the sheep in Ontario are black." His friend, who was a high school graduate, retorted, "No, all you can really say is that some of the sheep in Ontario are black." The third friend, who had an undergraduate degree, then piped up, All you can say is that in Ontario, there's at least one black sheep. The fourth friend had a graduate degree and opined that the only valid conclusion based on the observation was that in Ontario, there's at least one sheep that is black on one side. Sitting behind the fourth friend was a young boy who had overheard the exchange and decided to throw in his 2 bits. "Excuse me," he said, "I think the proper conclusion is that in Ontario, there's at least one sheep that is black on one side some of the time." That young boy was a little genius. But as Benjamin Franklin said, a genius without education is like silver in a mine. You are here today to celebrate your education. The silver is out there. It's for you to go and mine it. But I want to leave you with one last little idea, because life is kind of like a puzzle. It really is. And solving it can be very interesting. And here's a little puzzle for you. I have this gizmo here, which has hinges and straight edges. The question is how many shapes I can make out of this. Obviously, I can make a square. I can make a parallelogram. I can make a triangle. In fact, I can make 2 triangles. I can make a pentagon. And the question is, can I make a circle? Well, you look at this and you say, gee, yes, hinges, straight edges, it's impossible to make a circle out of that. But you know what? In science, sometimes you have to think outside of the box. And that is what you students will do at some stage in your life, hopefully. Because if you think outside of the box and you think in a different dimension, sometimes things that appear to be impossible can become very possible. And you can make a circle out of a square. So, go on out there and make circles out of squares.
Thank you, Dr. Schwartz, for that circular presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of Convocation, the Alumni Association will present a Simon Fraser University alumni pin to the graduates as they leave the stage. Our alumni are incredibly important to us, and we're pleased that this symbolic presentation will launch you on your new role as alumni of SFU. Ms. Claire Wilson received a Bachelor of Arts in Women's Studies and History in 2013. She's also currently the Secretary of the SFU Alumni Association Board. I invite Ms. Wilson to the lectern to bring greetings to the graduands. Claire?
All right. Oh. Thank you, President Petter. Good afternoon, graduates. Today, your relationship with SFU evolves as you officially become lifetime members in our worldwide alumni network of more than 160,000 people in over 140 countries. Our Alumni Association celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. Our goal is to provide you with opportunities to learn, grow, and thrive through local, national, and international events, career resources, library services, and many other value-added benefits. As alumni, you now serve as ambassadors for SFU in your communities. Through your journey, you will inspire current and future students to dream, to strive for excellence, and to make their own mark on society. Stay connected with us through social media and by signing up for our alumni email forwarding service. We want to hear from you and have the chance to celebrate your successes. As you cross the stage today, it will be my pleasure to present you with an alumni pin. Wear it as a symbol of your incredible achievement and connection to SFU. Be proud of your accomplishments, be proud of your SFU credentials, and thank you all for investing your time, energy, and talents in this great university. Congratulations, and welcome to the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Claire. Before the graduands are presented individually to the Chancellor, Ms. Erin Williams, a member of the graduating class, will address Convocation. Erin is graduating with an honors Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology in the Active Health and Rehabilitation concentration. During her time at SFU, she was involved in student engagement initiatives, including SFU Camps, Welcome Day, SFU Strength and Conditioning, Peer Mentorship, and SFU's Center for Accessible Learning. After graduation, she plans to pursue studies in medicine or graduate school. I'm now pleased to call upon Erin Williams for the graduate address. Erin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, President Petter, Madam Chancellor, distinguished faculty, friends, family, peers. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. It is such an honor to be here today, speaking to you all on behalf of the graduating class of 2019. But I've got to be honest, when I sat down to write this speech, with a blank page staring back at me on my computer, this was just so intimidating, I had no idea what to write. But of course, I've come here prepared. And like a good science student, I got past this by bringing an article along with me to share. And this research article was titled Student Metaphors for the College Freshman Experience. And in this study, researchers asked undergraduate students to describe their first year using a metaphor. Now, some students, they had a hard time. They said they felt like they were in kindergarten all over again. Sometimes you cry, sometimes you need naps, and it's difficult to focus at the best of times. Other students, they were excited to go out and experience university. They said they felt like a small grain of salt at the bottom of the shaker, just waiting to be released into the world. And I think this last one came from someone living on residence. They said they felt like they were at a giant slumber party, but you don't know everyone, and you all have to share a bathroom. Now, of course, at the end of the day, there's no one metaphor that is going to sum up our experience. And that's because this experience was different for everyone. What brings us together is the fact that we all took a leap to pursue university at one point. Along the way, we all faced challenges, and we've made it to the end to celebrate. So let's take a minute. Let's put on those graduation goggles and remember what it was like to be in first year. I remember feeling like a real scientist when I got my very first lab coating goggles for general chemistry. And then there's Lawn Kappa. Is that still a thing? And the idea that while we don't know where to get textbooks for a good price, we don't know how to use them well yet. I also remember the first time I really fantasized about what it was going to be like to graduate. The sound of bagpipes was ringing through the air, a sound I'd be very familiar with by the end of my time here, by the way. And around me, people were wearing hats. Some in hats like I'm in today, and some in these hats I had never seen, but needed to figure out what I had to do to wear one. Around me, regardless of their hats, everyone was glowing with pride. And I couldn't wait to feel that way myself. But at the same time, it felt like it would take forever to get there. Through university, I took the I'm keeping my options open approach. I tried everything and then zeroed in on the things I liked the most. And these usually allowed me to connect with others. Through captaining our kinesiology games team, I was able to engage with peers at SFU, but also peers all across Canada. Through co-op, I was able to engage with my community, and through research, I was able to engage with what brought me here, a love of science. But whatever strategy it was that you all used to navigate the hallways, again, we've ended up in the same place, and the path to get here was anything but straight. Many decisions would have to be made along the way. almost as though we were each working through our very own Choose Your Own Adventure book, like the ones we read in grade school. And I don't know about you guys, but when I read these books, I was infamous for cheating my way to the ending that I liked the best. Now, moving forward, we have the next big choice to make in our Choose Your Own Adventure books. And we've been faced with that glaring question from family of friends of, so what's next? Now, answering that question, like the blank page that stares back at you at the start of an assignment, at the start of a presentation, or at the start of a convocation speech, it can be daunting. And the same way that we've had our own paths that brought us to today, the options we face are very different as well. Some of us will have recently accepted offers and will know exactly where we're going come September. Some of us will be going back to the drawing board after not getting the news we hoped from an application. Some of us will be done with school entirely, and an extra congratulations to you all. You'll be facing the working world for the first time in your life very soon. And some of us will have no idea what is coming next. And that's okay, regardless of where the years to come take you. I challenge everyone to cheat their way through their Choose Your Own Adventure books. Make your choices, make your plans, but if you should ever turn to page 65 and you don't like what you read, don't be afraid to go back and choose another option. And if in the end of the day, none of the options work out for you, then don't be afraid to tear out the pages and simply rewrite your own. As well, if you set out pursuing one opportunity, and along the way you come across another you never could have predicted, don't be afraid to chase that opportunity just because it's not what you set out to do in the first place. Accepting the unknown, this is so much easier said than done. But if we can do this, and I mean really own it, this will allow us to embrace life's fluidity instead of fearing it. It's easy to feel like we need to have a beautiful and clear-cut plan for our future. But it is equally important to realize that there are some things we simply cannot plan, but we can be ready for. Last, as we embark on the choices ahead, I hope that everyone does so while engaging with those around them. Making meaningful connections along the way, this certainly isn't necessary, but at least in my experience during my undergrad, it is so much easier to find your way in a daunting and unfamiliar place with someone doing the exact same thing beside you. So once again, congratulations to everyone sitting in front of me today. Today we celebrate everything you have accomplished, but also every struggle you faced to end up in your seat. I'd like to leave you all with my metaphor for the university experience, and that's the Choose Your Own Adventure book. I hope that everyone is able to bend the rules as they encounter the pages to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduands please rise? Pretty good-looking group, don't you think? Madam Chancellor, I present to you those scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of this university, and I request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are now recommended.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I do hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. The graduands may now be seated.
The members of the graduating class will now be presented individually to the Chancellor. But first, a few requests. Would you please refrain from applauding the individual members of the graduating class until each group of degrees has been conferred? This does not apply to the conferral of doctoral degrees, and obviously, we can't forbid spontaneous outbursts of enthusiasm, nor would we want to. As a courtesy to others, please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony. I'd ask the graduates to please return to your seats following the receipt of your degrees. However, our doctoral graduates should join your colleagues on the platform. The degrees in the Faculty of Science will now be conferred. Madam Chancellor, Dr. George Agnes, Associate Dean, Students, Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, will announce the names of the students earning graduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Science. The graduates will be hooded by their accompanying faculty supervisor or Dr. Paul Kench, Dean of the Faculty of Science. The first doctoral degree recipient, Dr. Sean Godwin, is also a recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Unfortunately, Sean is unable to be present today. We congratulate Dr. Godwin on his outstanding achievement. The second doctoral degree recipient, Dr. SANAM SHAFAAT TALAB, is also a recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Dr. SHAFAAT TALAB will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Glenn Tibbetts. Originally from Iran, Dr. SHAFAAT TALAB came to SFU to pursue research in molecular and cell biology. She was one of the first persons in Canada to take blood cells from a patient, turn them into stem cells, and then reprogram them into beating hearts. Her work was instrumental in showing that sudden cardiac arrest in infants can explain some cases of sudden infant death syndrome. Dr. SHAFAAT TALAB's research is expected to have profound possibilities in the areas of healthcare. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the remaining graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Science. Dr. Rohan Abraham will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Michael Thewalt. Dr. Heather Baroudi. Dr. Benjamin Britton will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Stephen Holcroft. Steve. Dr. Patrick Fortin will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Stephen Holcroft. Dr. Thomas Skalski will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Stephen Holcroft. Dr. Lindsay Davidson and new mom. Okay. Dr. Jiang Hu Dong will be hooded by his supervisors, Dr. Jiwa So and Liang Wang. Dr. David Hope. Dr. Fiona Francis will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Isabel Cote. Dr. Brett Howard will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Isabel Cote. Dr. Christina Hall will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Thomas Clayton. Dr. Yushi Patrick will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Thomas Clayton. Dr. Xuan Jia will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. George Agnes. Me? Dr. Richard Gonzalez. Dr. Michael Kirkness will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Nancy Ford. Dr. Tali Kwong will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Mark Brockman. Dr. Tristan Markle will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Mark Brockman. Dr. Dongdong Li will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Xiao Cheong Hu. Dr. Xiao Rui Lui. Okay. Dr. Allison Yulee will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Glenn Tibbetts. Dr. Song Lim will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. William Davidson. Dr. Justin Lowe. Dr. Maddie Malakayan. Dr. Tasleem Muzaffar. Dr. Daniel Peach. Dr. Lazantha Pramarantha will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Tim Schwartz. Dr. Kathleen Prosser will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Charles Walsby. Dr. Evan Kwan will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Christopher Bay. Dr. Aveline Randawa will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. James Wakeling. Dr. Gioacchino Roberti will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Brent Ward. Dr. Natalia Sanikova will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Andrew Bennett. Dr. Ahmed Syed Ahmed will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Norbert Honerland. Dr. Reza Siavashi will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Jennifer Thewalt. Dr. Ernest Williams will be hooded by his supervisor, Dr. Christoph Starosta. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of master's degrees in the Faculty of Science. Jessica Banning. Zi Leung. Melanie Pilatuk. Cassandra Rodenzer. Timothy Ainge. Michael Arbeiter. Camille Bonus. Antonina Calahorano. Julie Dmitrievich. Matthew Douglas. Yingshu Feng. Mohammed Hasmat. Thomas Holmes. Ji Jian. Jiwon Kim. Daniel Knowles. Sheng-Yuan Lin. Vinny Liu. Syed Saeed Mirzami. Olawafemi Olawale. Jennifer Parkhouse. Timothy Richards. Parissa Shiri. Jenny Tabaneg. Sophia Sai. Brighton Varju. Jing Wong. Kirsten Wilcox. Sin Wu. Xiao Yun Yuan. Jiarui Zong. Lisa Zhang. You're up.
Madam Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Science, Dr. Paul Kench, will announce the names of the students earning undergraduate degrees in his faculty.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the graduands of the degree of Bachelor of Science in the Faculty of Science. The first graduand, Ms. Olivia Tsai, is the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Olivia is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Biology and Biochemistry. Whilst maintaining the highest academic standards throughout her degree, Olivia immersed herself in science outreach, peer tutoring, and a range of summer research experiences, from bird exercise physiology to HIV drug resistance mutations in children. Olivia was also a committed editor for the Science Undergraduate Research Journal. Olivia is an exceptional scholar and a worthy recipient of this award. Congratulations, Olivia, and we wish you well with your medical studies, which begin in the fall. Madam Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the remaining graduands of the degree of Bachelor of Science in the Faculty of Science. Richard Gronwald. Sarah Aboud. Cray Ackerson. Vanessa Aganos. Maria Ahmed. Bader Alzia. Mark Ivan Alnarigo. Jonagon An. Ashorn Anand, Elaine Ang, Jeffrey Archer, Idris Adashir, Fraser Dylan Atkinson, Eva Au, Dilshir Ajula, Peter Baldazzi, Emerald Balitan, Brandon Barnett, Carissa Basham, Miriam Bassett, Jordana Bath, Kimberly Bautista, Andrea Berry, Ati Bulla, Alan B. I've got here, Krista Boland, Christopher Bonner, Justin Booth, Dave Borrell, Amitoz Bra, Mandeep Bra, Jamie Bratsberg, Maxwell Brimacombe, Parambir Bring, Kristen Bystrom, Carly Carr, Joshua Carly Carr, Krishana Campbell, Zachary Cesaretti, Navroz Kahal, Christina Chan, Melissa Chang, Kevin Chow, Emily Che, Bo Chen, Chao Ting Chen, Chun Wei Chen, Cindy Minrong Chen, Ji Chen, Li Chen, Si Chi Chen, Shei Wei Chen, Wendy Chen, Yi Yun Chen, Eugene Cheung, Matthew Cheung, Vincent Cheung, Vivian Cheung, Sarah Childs, Diane Cho, Matthew Chong, Jennifer Chow, William Chung, Danielle Chianiello, Gino Circo, Courtney Coelho, Stephanie Cooper, Carson Cordes, Lindsay Craig, Thomas Cunningham, Harrison Dame, Trevor Dallow, Joel David Baluyo, Chu Chu Deng, Jessica Deng, Manrup Dada, Bisman Daliwal, Jaskaran Daliwal, Pavneet Dano A, Daniela Di Francesco, Sheng Nan Ding, Helen Doe, Riley Donaldson, Thomas Dong, Tobias Doniek, Jospal Dosanj, Alexander Dropo, Praveen Dule, Shayon Dolimond, Alexander Dunbar, Sarah Dunn, Kia Doricio, Yashna Dvaka, Nick Allen Edwards, Param Elmi, David Evans, Chelsea Izzy. Shoaib Fazi. Stephanie Fan. Megan Fawkes. Claudio Fejo. Andrea Fora. Justin Foronda. Mark Allen Forteza. Crystal Frosha. Vladislava Gabelko. Matthew Gagnon. Chantel Gallang. Erin Galloway. Meng Hao Gao. Matthew Garrett. Jeremy Gaza. Darian Giu. Navpreet Guman. Shannon Gibson. Shannon Kelly Gilchrist. Amandeep Gill. Jasmine Gill. Manpreet Gill. Nav Gill. Amanda Gilliland. Marina Goddard. Marco Gomez Ozati. Shiyi Gong. Catherine Graham. Hadi Shi Grewal. Kylejeet Grewal. Yijia Gu. Zheng Guo. Phoebe Han. Jonathan Hari. Emma Harrison. Brian Hayes. Robert Hendricks. Angus Ho. Richard Huang. Trang Huang. Jennifer Ashley Hofmeister. Serene Hon. Wei Sin Su. Michelle Huang. Mina Huang. Garrett Hughes. Brian Hui. Christina Yelik. Kartik Jain. Cody James. Aisha Hauriji. Vasina Jayamana. Manpreet Jyoti. Calvin Johansson. Bryn Johnson. Gabrielle Jones. Adricia Kelsey. Danielle Kaminsky. Jasleen Condola. Tyler Casper. Erin Keane. Christopher Kevin. Gavin Kangura. Rania Khalifi. Daniel Kilmaster. Josh Kim. Yena Kim. Daniel King. Sarah King. Makshada Kaulisur. Tracy Crouch. Christopher Cuppers. Oops. Donna Isabel Labayo. Bryce LaBelle. Jeffrey Luck. Emma LaCroix. Alexandra Ladish. Tiffany Ladar. Christy Lang. Shu Wai Lam. Ileana Lance. Gada Lavaji Cabrera. Natasha Lazecki. Lyndon Lechner. Chae Seong Lee. Justin Lee. Megan Lee. Sangbait Lee. Thomas Lemke. Dasha Laniva. Emily Leung. Angela Lee. Pengfei Lee. Sui Wing Lee. Tiffany Lee. Alice Liang. Gigi Liang. Andrew Liao. Qiling Liao. Jenny Liao. Darielle Lim. Pei Jun Lin. Shanting Lin. Jonel CHRISTINA Lopez. Noah Lopez. Jesse Liu. Brittany Liu. Joseph Neil Lucero. Chi Him Louis. Michael Lum. Amy Lee. Tiffany Lee. Somi Ma. Kyle McDonald. Stefano Macri. Loveline Mahal. Ho'ul Ain Mahum. Nathan Mack. Harman Malhans. Myra Malik. Patience Manhanga. Gudas Man. Petra Makova. Kevin Marquis. Justin Martin. Tida Mong. Murtaza Mazawi. Cameron McCulloch. Scott McLean. Sam Mirage. Heidi Michaels. Ben Minika. Avisa Muhammad Hassani. Benood Mohammadi. Michaela Moore of Farrell. Eric Murphy. Caitlin Motts. Catherine Murnahan. Nicholas Naidu. Jaysway Nang. Leo Nast. Kaylin Naylor. Irina Nalepku. Julie Newton. Courtney Ng. Lucas Ng. Alex Nguyen. Kathy Nguyen. Daphne Nguyen. Trin Nguyen. Vincent Nguyen. Sheila Nicholson. Megan Notting. John Nweki. Shen E. Osimalangulu. Sarah Pekosdi. Yu Ti Pan. Zhao Ki Pang. Kushbu Patel. Sadie Pater. Lauren Pettifer. Amy Petts. Connor Fortmuller. Adrian Picor. Daniela Pistilli. Vanessa Pogue. Sarah Porterchio. Lena Maureen Premack. Kathleen Purewell. Stephanie Kwok. Elias Ramat Panna, Avneet Rai, Terry Rai, Rajan Rana, Shivani Rana, Batul Ryan, Isabel Rennie, Jeffrey Roberts, Emma Rowland, Maruccio Romero Delgado, Kino Roy, Ian Ruiz Romero, Gavneet Sabarwal, Taha Salman, Rajan Samra, Matthew Sanchez, Urban Sandhu, Simarjit Sandhu, Karavnia Sangha, Simran Sangera, Franz Sapira, Shuomi Sarivasawaran, Derek Saxton, Cole Schmidt, Miles Scollin, Karen Sikon, Haya Shah Alam, Fazad Sharif, Atul Sharma, Ali Shaki, David Shori, Vivian Shum, Amardeep Sidhu, Rajan Sidhu, Randy Sidhu, Raymond Sidhu, Samuel Silveira, Maria Simic, Keegan Sims, Ravjeen Singh, Kylie Smart, Jonathan So, Eti Soni, Jordan Sonier, Ravneet Suk, Paul Suriel, Stephanie Stanciolescu, Wei Sun, Abraham Tadisi, Amanda Tam, Candace Tam, Franklin Tam, Nicholas Tamchek, Eileen Tang, Shui Chen Chow, Samantha Thompson, Bowman Thurston, Melanie Tui, Kathy Tran, David Chan, Kim Chan, Vivian Sui, Basil Tulba, Matthew Tung, John Mark Villanueva, Jasmine Verk, Danielle Vu, Kelly Wallace, Jason Wong, Rose Wong, Songwei Wong, Shi Wong, Jordan Weidman, Aaron Williams, Connor Wilson, Ty Winslade, Skylar Witt, Cyrus Wong, Lexus Wong, Jenny Wong, Jesse Wong, Victor Wong, Christina Wright, Peilun Wu, Wei Feng Benny Wu, Guangyu Shu, Hui Hua Shu, Shui Yi Shu, Lian Yang, Anna Yao, Yi Yao, Jinshang Ye, Daniel Yosefi, Austin Yu, Amanda Zacharek, Ashia Zaran, Paul Zerabecki, Wei Zhang, Shinshen Zhao, Zining Zhao, Liu Yi Zheng, Pi Chi Zheng, Kang Yu Zhao, Min Zhao, Yan Yu Zhu, Samantha Zimmerman, Guangji Zhu, Madam Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the student who has completed the requirements for a diploma in the Faculty of Science. Melissa Radford.
Madam Chancellor, the Governor General's silver medals are awarded to 2 undergraduate students who are judged to have the most outstanding records in the graduating class. One of the recipients of the Governor General's silver medal is from the Faculty of Science. I now ask Mr. Richard Groenewald to join me. Richard is graduating with an Honors Bachelor of Science in Statistics with a 4.31 CGPA. You don't have to take statistics to know what that means. His interest in probability and statistics stem from the fact that uncertainty is associated with many scientific problems. He's the recipient of 2 NSERC Undergraduate Student Research Awards, working in the design of statistical experiments. This fall, Richard plans to continue his research and academic learning at Columbia University, where he's enrolled in the Statistics PhD program. On behalf of SFU, we congratulate Mr. Groenewald on his outstanding achievements, and I invite Chancellor Giardini to join me, well, she's already joined me, to present the Governor General's Silver Medal. Will the graduating class please rise? I congratulate each of you on the completion of your degree. This is an impressive achievement, and I ask your friends, family, and members of the platform to join me in applauding the amazing graduating class of Spring 2019. Now, let's not forget you didn't get here all by yourselves. I'd ask the members of the graduating class to reciprocate by applauding your family, friends, faculty, and staff, indeed all of those who helped you to get here today. Please be seated.
My friends, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some of the graduates recommended by Senate for degrees today have been unable to be present, and their names have therefore not been read out. I now admit them to their appropriate degrees as shown in the program. I just have a few thank yous to express. First, to all of you for joining us on this celebratory day. And second, to the many volunteers, staff, faculty members, coordinated by ceremonies and events and student services who have worked together to run a smooth Convocation Day, and they arranged for the good weather, so I think we should thank them. And of course, to the members of our 6-time world champion Simon Fraser University Pipe Band for their contribution to Convocation. You'll have a chance to see them perform again after the ceremony in Freedom Square behind the platform. As I mentioned, this brings to a close the formal part of this afternoon's Convocation. You are now, however, invited to attend a reception in the James Douglas Room, again behind the platform. I ask that you kindly rise and remain standing at your place until the platform party has recessed. Thank you all.
Petty theft, you know.
One, 3 corner.